Hello dreamers, this is Maya Joy KahNah, and in today's video we're going to talk about life path number 1. If you are a life path number 1, just know that you are an amazing person. Your whole life is about becoming the best person that you can be and achieving your goals and rising to the top. For life path number 1, there is this push from the time that they're born. There's this push to lead. Other people see within the life path 1 that person is somebody that they can look to lead them in whatever facet it is. You know, I think it's leadership in all capacities. It can be leadership of the family. It can be leadership in the workplace. It could be leadership of a cause. And when I think of life path number 1, I actually think of my mother because she's a life path number 1. And even when I was a little girl, I would sort of just look at her and watch her, and I would just see that within her there was this amazing potential for leadership, and that she was just the most responsible person that I knew in my life and the most hardworking person. And I always used to tell her as I was growing up, you need to be a manager, you need to be a leader, you are the most qualified person in your entire organization or in your workplace. And finally, when I was in college, she finally became an executive director, and she was just such a natural fit for the job. Life path 1 people are really driven by this inner sense of purpose within themselves, and they know what they want to work towards, and they know what their goals are. And in numerology, the number 1 represents that the aspirations and goals that we have for ourselves. So if you're having a personal year 1, for example, or a pinnacle 1, it's about just delineating what are those goals and then working hard towards them and working based on your individual effort. And for somebody who is a life path 1, their entire life is driven by that energy. They don't need somebody to come in and say, okay, this is who you are, or this is a goal that you should work towards. They just know that within themselves. If you are a life path 1, you must understand that you are so much better than you realize, and you are so much more capable than you realize, and you are so much more talented than you realize. To go back to the example of my mom, I remember that when she came upon that position of executive director, she was just overcome with insecurity, right? And she was just saying, oh, I don't know, I don't have this much experience, even though literally she had been working hard in her field for probably 30 years, right? Looking from an outside perspective, she was clearly the one most trustworthy, most responsible person for any leadership position. But within herself, what she saw was everything that she wasn't completely confident in, right? All these little areas of criticism. And that's one thing that a life path 1 really struggles with, is they are so focused on their goals that they're so self-aware, 1 being the number of self, that they know where their weak points are. They can be so critical, even when achieving amazing goals that other people would not be able to achieve. They'll be like, well, yeah, I did a good job, but I could have done this part a little bit better. So if you're a life path 1, know that in a way that inner criticism is kind of working for you because it's making you more successful, but you've got to find balance within and realize that it's important to celebrate your success, and it's important to really sit down and count what is good about you and what your talents are and what your strengths are, and not let that inner voice of criticism, don't let that stop you from achieving your dreams. Because if you're a life path 1, you are set up to achieve your goals and dreams in this lifetime. But for a life path 1, those weaknesses that you see within yourself, other people aren't really going to see those. Or if they do see them, they're not really going to care that much, because they're going to see your strengths and talents so much more, and they're going to see your hard work, and they're going to see your responsibility and your integrity, and they're going to know that they can trust you. Life path 1s are known for wanting to solve their problems on their own. Life path 1's mantra is I got this, I don't need help, from other people. Of course, that depends on what other numbers are in their numerology. But if you're a life path 1, know that while you are extremely competent to be able to make your own decisions and solve problems on your own, it's also okay and even a good thing sometimes to ask for help from others and to, let other people help you solve your problems. Because let's say you're a life path 1 and you're married to like a life path number 2. Well, if you don't let that life path number 2 help you, then they're going to be devastated, right? Or if you are life path 1 and you're married to a life path 6, that life path 6 is going to want to nurture you, and they're going to want to love you, and they might take even offense to you wanting to solve all of your problems on your own or wanting to do things by yourself all the time. So know that if you're a life path 1, yes, you definitely are self-directed, and yes, you really probably can take care of your problems on your own, but it's still good to let people help you some of the time, especially if they want to, and especially if that's part of their own personal enrichment and their own path to their destiny. People with life path number 1 are here to stand out as unique individuals, and therefore someone with a life path 1 may have very, very strong opinions. They just know what's true for them, and they may be incessant on expressing their individuality or uniqueness in other ways as well. Like a life path 1 could just be like, you know what, this is how I do it, and I don't really need your opinion or insight about how I'm doing it, but this is how I do it, and this is what works for me. And that could apply to any area of life. That could be life path 1, how they manage their finances. That could be life path 1, how they dress. Like, you might say to a life path 1, oh, you would look so beautiful, if you wore this color. And life path 1's like, yeah, no, I don't want to wear pink. I love blue. I'm going to wear blue every day, and I know that blue's my best color, so life path 1, right? And that's true to who they are. Life path 1, in terms of career, they of course are very adept at leadership and management. And if you were, say, a leader yourself and you're looking for somebody to maybe promote who you can really trust to take on the position and work hard to achieve success in your organization, it could be good to select a life path 1. But life path 1s, they're not just good in leadership positions, but they're also good as entrepreneurs in founding their own businesses and working for themselves. Any career that really requires a lot of self-motivation and drive, like for example, being a lawyer or even being a teacher, right? Where you really have to sit down and lesson plan, and how successful you are depends a lot on just how much work you put into it, and you're the one there, right? As a teacher, you're there in front of the classroom and you're the leader, so that could be good for a life path 1, but they need to have time in the workplace where they're actually working on their own. It's not a good idea to try to micromanage that person. If you want a life path 1 to perform really well, you need to tell them that you respect them and you trust them to bring about success, right? I know you can solve this problem. I trust you. Everything that you do is always so successful. I know you're going to succeed. These are the types of things that you want to say to a life path 1, because that's going to bring out this inherent sort of drive that they have within themselves and this inherent sort of desire to win at life. And they probably will win at life most of the time, since they are here to achieve their goals. Life path 1 can be very competitive, even if they don't say that they're competitive, right? Because depending on other factors in their astrology or numerology, they might not admit that they're competitive, but they are very competitive, right? So they may be trying to be the best person in the office. They may be even competing with you in your relationship. Like they're trying to be the one who's more committed to the relationship, or the one who's more on top of it. The one who never forgets the holidays, never forgets the birthdays. They just are doing such a good job. So you can actually work with that to bring out that quality in a life path 1 by sort of setting something up as a challenge. There's this challenge, I haven't been able to solve it on my own, and I think that you're the only one who can solve this problem, and I trust you completely. I respect your work so much, and I trust you to successfully bring a resolution to this problem. The life path number 1 needs your respect, and ultimately a life path number 1 deserves to be respected based on the way that they live their life. If you are a life path 1, it's so important for you to learn to accept yourself. If we have not learned to truly accept who we are and appreciate who we are, then that means that we are also not going to be able to accept others or appreciate others for who they are. You are a divine being. You were created by a higher power to be exactly who you are, and so was everybody else. Try to find something that brings serenity to your mind and that helps you relax and calm down. And this may be meditation, or it could be anything. It could be time in nature, it could be gardening, but it's important to establish some sort of hobby or some sort of practice that isn't about just succeeding or achieving your goals or being independent, but something that brings a very strong sense of inner peace to you and that helps you to quiet your mind and that brings you into a spiritual vibration of knowing that everything is turning out as it should and that you are an amazing person and that you are doing so much better than you realize. So there's that need to bring in something that gives you that sense of perspective. So anyway, I hope that you have enjoyed this video on life path number 1. If you are life path number 1, or you know somebody who is a life path number 1, just know that life path number 1s are just the most amazing, most talented people, and they just need that encouragement and understanding that they are doing an amazing job and that they are qualified to rise to the top, and that although self-criticism can lead to self-improvement, they don't need to be as hard on themselves as they actually are. So thank you all for watching and enjoy your day. Namaste and goodbye.